Hello, 7th graders. Your new video is on section 5.3 from the book, which is solving percent problems using equations. And so when we do this, it's going to be a little different than when we did it when we solved them using the proportions. When we do this one, we have a basic equation that we're going to use, and then all of the problems that we do, we're going to put into that same equation. So this is what it's going to look like written out in words. What percent of the number is the answer? Okay, and then here I wrote it again, but remember that of is going to mean times, and is will always mean equal. And so I wrote that right here just so you'd remember. And you're going to use that for every single question that I give you. And then a couple of things that we need to remember also about this is so it doesn't matter what part of it's missing. The percent could be missing, the number could be missing, the total always goes here, and then the answer always goes here. So you have three parts of the same equation, and any one of those parts could be missing. So you need to, when you're going through and trying to figure out which part it is that you're trying to solve for, you need to read the question carefully to find the of and the is, because those two parts right there are the key words that are going to help you put it into your equation the correct way. So here are your main steps. So you're always going to put the numbers in the same order in the equation. The percent will always go first, the of what will go second, and the is what will go last. So you need to be careful with how you're putting it in there. And then once you have it into your equation the correct way, you need to make sure that you change the percent to a decimal before you try to work with it. Okay, you have to get rid of the percent sign. And then once you get rid of that, you can go ahead and solve it. So those are your three main steps, but remember that each question is going to look just a little bit different. So here's your first problem. So what is 16% of 200? Okay, and again, it will always be percent of a number is, that's equal, the answer. So you're always going to set these up in that same order. Remember that this is and this is of. Okay, so I already wrote this down here, but let's just go through. So 16% will always be first. And I went ahead and went 2 to the left and changed it to a decimal right away, because I know I'm going to have to do that anyway. So of will always mean times. So I went ahead and put of what? It tells me of what? 200. So 16% of 200 is what? So the answer is missing. So it tells you exactly what to do. Look at what this says. 0.16 times 200. So that's all I have to do, and I'll get my answer. So then remember your two decimals. So your answer is 32. Okay. So then, remember that's just one way to write a question. So on this one, the answer was missing. The is was missing. So then on this next one, 16% is, so this is the answer. It says is right here. 16 is what percent of 200? So I have the of and I have the is. The percent is not there. So when I write it, again, I want to use the same order. So percent is missing. So I put percent first. Of what? Of 200. So of 200 is what? Is 16. Is 16. So you're going to look at the of and the is like I just did, and it's going to tell you where to put them in this equation. So now I need to solve for the percent sign, or an A or a B or a C, whatever you want to put in there. So I need to divide by 200 because I need to get rid of the 200 and move it to the other side. So I'll have percent equals when I'm done. So 16 divided by 200. So 200 won't go in there, but it will go in there 8 times evenly. Okay, so that's a decimal though. The percent is missing. So I have to change it from a decimal to a percent, so I go 2 to the right, and my answer is 8%. So you see I still use the exact same little equation right here, but what you fill in and what's missing is going to change whether I multiply or divide or what I have to do. And when the percent is missing, you always need to remember 2 to the right to change it to a percent. Then the last type of problem right here, so I have 16%, so they're giving me the percent of what? We don't know. It's missing. Is 200. So if I plug it into my little equation, and I'm going to go ahead and change my percent to a decimal right away, 2 to the left, so 0.16 of what? I don't know. Of what? So question mark, or A or B or C, whatever you want to use. Is what? Is 200. So how do I solve for the question mark? I have to get rid of this 0.16, so I have to divide by 0.16. Remember, when we divide, top number is always in the box. You got to get rid of your decimals on the outside, just like we learned, and then you got to move it on the inside. Now I can go ahead and divide. Just keep going till it either repeats or works out. Perfect, it works out right there, but I have to fill in another 0 there till I get all the way out as far as I need to. So my answer is 1250. So 16% of 1250 is 200. You could check that if you wanted to. You could go 1250 times 0.16 and see if it comes out to be 200. I bet it does. I need to make my page longer. Okay. Put your decimals in. Look at that, 200. So that's how you know it's correct. I just checked it. Okay, so 3 types of problems that we're going to look at, but they all involve the exact same equation. So bring that knowledge with you, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Have a good night.